Oh, done.
All right. Let's get started. As you all know, I'm Simon. This is Lisa. If you haven't met Lisa, I'd actually really like to give an introduction to Lisa. Lisa's going to be really running tonight's goal setting workshop. We've decided to do it a little bit different to what I normally do it, which is fantastic because I had it very basic before, and we're kind of trying to open a new world up to you guys about what goal setting is and what it means and how it works. And we're going to look at some of the things that might hold us back from achieving that tonight. But I want to talk and introduce you to Lisa. Lisa and I met, geez, how long ago? It would be 12 months, maybe? Yeah. So I did a class with Lucy, actually, at Lisa's, a yoga class with Lisa's, and she did it just rocked my world. We became really instant friends. Lisa now works with me side by side as my business consultant, really, and PA, really. I don't know. Actually, she's just my life manager. Yeah, and she has a really unique and wonderful perspective and wisdom and understanding about life. And so I'm really grateful that she's going to be leading this tonight with me, and we hope to give you an experience that you may not have had before. Yeah. So my intention for tonight is to maybe open a new world or go deeper into a world that you're already in. So just to go a little bit deeper in your life. That's all my goal is tonight for you guys. So welcome. Thanks for coming tonight to the goal setting seminar. And yeah, let's get started. So take it over.
So yes, I'm Lisa. Lovely to meet you all if I haven't met you yet. And it's a pleasure to be guiding you through vision and goals for 2019 and life and beyond. I've done this work for many, many years now for different faculties, whether it's in personal development for yoga teachers or working with workshops with people trying to overcome trauma, or just, a mom who wants to get back into good health after having a baby. It doesn't really matter why you're here. Everyone can benefit from this kind of work, and you can do it over and over and over again. And for myself, even though I know the work, I continue to do it constantly over and over again because things change, we evolve naturally, and so I ask that you just remain open-minded today. I may introduce some concepts that you're already well aware of, so I'm not trying to say that you don't already know them, but just think of it, hearing it a second time maybe is always great. If you have any questions, feel free to ask at any time. And
Put on the lead and
no worries. The way the workshop will look tonight is we're going just to answer a few really simple questions, getting us thinking first about what it is that we're up to or we're trying to create in our lives. So whatever you're working on in your body, it's never just your body, as we all know. It has to do with mental health, it has to do with emotional health, and whatever your perspective of spiritual health is as well. So we're looking at the goal setting from all of those perspectives to make sure that they align so that we can create something that's sustainable. If we're not going to create something sustainable, then it's a waste of your 2 hours. So the goal is to come up with something that really works for you based on your core values and what's most important to you, so that you actually go home tomorrow and you know what you're going to do, as opposed to the New Year's resolution classic of February 1st comes along and everybody's quit by then. So it's slightly different than that. We're actually looking farther along. We're going to 10 years from now. I'll lead you through a process that has been tried and true years and years over, and it really works. So first we're going to do is just everyone stand up. Take your feet about hip-width distance apart, or even a little bit wider, and I want you to feel your feet on the ground. So just get a sense, even if you're wearing shoes, it doesn't matter, get a sense of your toes and your heels, where the weight is under your feet. Is it more forward? Is it more back? Notice your right foot. Notice your left foot. And then start to bring your awareness up your legs to your knees. There's nothing you have to do, we're just feeling our legs. Then through your thighs, your hamstrings, into your glutes. And noticing your lower spine, your middle spine, and finally your upper spine, and let that lift your head naturally You don't have to look up, just feel as if maybe there's a little string on the top of your head pulling you gently up towards the roof, to the ceiling. Let your hands fall free now. So we're not gripping, we're not holding any energy, and you're just relaxed and open. Now settle your eyes open at one still point, not glaring, just gently looking at one point. Feel your whole body, drop into it, and let yourself become really quiet for a moment. And then from here, invite your eyes to close, gently closing them. Just for about a moment, drawing our awareness inwards. And then we bring our awareness solely to our breath, drawing air in through your nose and out through your nose. The goal is not to breathe loudly, it's just gentle, rhythmic in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice where the oxygen goes. On this breath, inhale, take it all the way down. And let it exit your lungs. One more breath in. And down. Now staying as you are, opening your eyes, reaching your arms up to the ceiling. If someone's in the way, just reach them forward, don't worry about it. And then as if the air was tangible, we're going to push the air down very slowly in front of us, bringing everything down. Take your time. Imagine that it's thick, almost like honey, and you're pushing it down, 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 all the way to your feet. And then you do that again. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, a little bit faster. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through your nose. This time, open your mouth. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And then just rest at the bottom, looking down, noticing the ground, feeling your feet. Nothing to do but just be here in your body right now. And take a really quiet breath in. And a long breath out. And then just coming back upright and taking a seat. That's just a simple Qigong exercise, moving energy back down from whatever our busy day was into the earth, grounding us so that we can then do some more intellectual and spiritual work without being too scatterbrained, like I was. So the first thing I'm going to do is get everybody to take one of these and a pen. So we'll just start here, and you can pass them along.
We have limited number.
You have your own pen.
Would anyone like one of these? It's only first 6 people, by 6 people. Yeah? Anyone else? Yeah. Good. Hands up first, Kevin. Good work. Got 2 more. Anyone else? Okay. 1, 2.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Awesome. It's fine.
Okay. One for you. Great. Okay, cool. So I've done this work a lot with athletes as well because I was an elite athlete for many years, and I was really lucky that actually one of my first coaches, she was from Russia, but she was really into personal development and a lot of sports psychology and making sure that even from the age of 8 years old that we were being introduced with mindset principles, and so that was really cool. And so by the end of high school, I'd done exercises like these, though I was sick of them by that point. I've done them so many times, but they really are effective, and they can help us regardless of we're working on our career, our health, or our personal lives. You can apply it to, make sure you're applying it to all of that because they're never separate. And as an athlete, it was really important that we had a balanced life, because otherwise, again, the performance would not be sustainable. If we had stress at home, if our health was suffering, but we were still performing, it would probably only last for a year or so, and then something would happen and we'd lose our sport. So, same thing applies to whatever it is that you're here for. So we're going to start just pretty simply with going through some questions just to get you thinking. And then I'm going to pass it over to Simon, and he's going to speak to you about core limiting beliefs and a bunch of other things. And then together I'm going to lead you through what is called a yoga nidra, and it's a special kind of meditation that's really easy. It's completely effortless. You'll be lying on your back and you just let go, and I'm going to guide you into a state almost like hypnosis. Don't worry, I'm not going to hypnotize you. It's the similar state with the brain waves like hypnosis, so that we can drop into a vision place, and then we're going to pull you back out, we'll reflect on that, and then we'll create the goals from there. So that's what the workshop's going to look like. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to ask. So we're starting with what is called a mind map. And this one is just really simple. We're breaking our life into 3 areas. Optimal health, optimal personal life, and I wrote that a third time by accident. The third one is career. Personal life and personal life. So the third one is career. So every single person would, when I say what is perfect health to you, what Simon says perfect health is and what I would say perfect health is, or even what we define as health, would be completely different. And so all I'm trying to get our brains to start doing is thinking about what is the word health. And you can just put down 3 words, 4 words, a sentence, it doesn't matter. But I'll get you to answer quickly just those 3 questions. Don't overthink it, there's no right or wrong. What is optimal health, optimal personal life, and optimal career? Is 1 more minute good? Will that be enough? Okay, and even if you haven't completely finished, we'll just end it there. I know that you could always go back and add more if you want to at the end. This is a working suggestion, and you can use it as a template to create entirely again if you need to. So what we're going to do now is we have 16 people here. So you're going to turn to somebody beside you, and we're going to go one at a time, each for a minute, just a minute. I'll time you. You're going to talk about these 3 categories. You only have to share what you feel comfortable sharing. If it's private, you don't have to share it. It's a safe space. Your partner, it's confidential. They're not anything that you tell them here. They will not repeat to anybody else. So let's all just hold integrity around that, please, so people can work through the process as effectively as possible. Cool?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, first find a partner, a buddy.
Okay.
Maybe turn.
Go do.
And if you don't have a buddy, put your hand up.
Who's a buddy? Who needs a buddy over here, Mark? All right.
And Lucy, I'm your buddy. Yeah. So, the person with the shortest hair goes first. And one thing that I want to mention, in order for this to be really effective, we have to practice something called active listening or generous listening, where we're just sitting there and we're just being with the other person who's talking. We're not trying to suggest something, we're not giving them our advice, we're just being there and we're just listening. So we say absolutely nothing, even if you really want to say something, don't. And just let them speak, it's just 1 minute. And then we'll switch from there. I'll let you know when it's over. Okay, go. Short hair. All 3 of them. All 3 of them, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, that's
Yeah, pretty much it. Pretty much. I
was questioning whether I should do it. I haven't done mine yet. Okay, and then the longer hair switch. So energy. I've struggled a lot the past year, especially with really bad immune system. Exhaustion. So being able to have sustained energy for a long time. Calm mind. Less anxiety. And feeling fit and strong in my body, and also like feeling like I look 30 years old. I feel good. So there's for my personal life, feeling really safe and happy in all of my relationships, my partner, but also my friends, my colleagues, and optimal career for me is I feel like I'm living my purpose. I love what I'm doing. I'm excited to get out and go to work, but also I don't have to work many hours. I figured out I need to have a regular life. Yeah, definitely.
So you trying to swing around? Or?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank your partner for sharing. So then turn your page over. And so we have 4 questions that we'll answer on this page. The first one is, what are your top core values in life? It's really important. I actually haven't done my core values for a few years now that I think of it. And when I really dove into it about 3 years ago, it took me a while to get super clear on them. I thought I had them, and then I went away for a few days, and I was like, no, humor, I need humor. And then I went away, and I was like, no, trust. I need, so we're not looking for perfection, but just let, in this moment, a few ideas pop up, whatever usually the first ones come up for you, what are really important. Maybe you can even think of it in one of your best friend, or someone who would be your partner, or who is your partner. If you need to have a tangible example of what a core value is, or maybe your employer, how would they treat you? Just thinking about what is really important for you that aligns with your integrity. Again, can't get it wrong. The second question is, what is getting in your way of you achieving your goals right now? So we can interpret this question in many different ways. There's no right or wrong way of answering. It could be something very logical. I have 3 kids at home, I don't have any time. That could be getting in the way. Or I don't have any money, or it could be something mental. I'm struggling from a lot of stress and anxiety this year, or it could be health related. Think big picture. What is it that's really, or it's maybe I make a lot of excuses personally. For me, I'm a procrastinator, and I constantly am coming up with reasons why I can't do things right now at this moment. So for me, excuses would be top on that list. So just thinking about from different perspectives, what is stopping you from achieving what you want? The next question is, what is your why? So what reasons do you have today, right now in your life? What's the most important reason that you're actually here? Because you all have shown up for some reason, whether you know it or not. You're ready to make some kind of a change. So why? What is it that is most important to you? It could be your mom. It could be your feeling of self-worth. It could be accomplishing something. Everyone's why will be different, so I want you to connect in with that. And then finally, where in your life are you the happiest, or feel the most alive, or feel inspired, or the most accepted? You can answer all or any one of those words that I asked you. So just take a few minutes now, don't overthink it, and write down a few words for each of the questions, please. Okay, and we'll pause there. Again, if you don't have it completely done, don't worry about it. And now I'm just going to get everybody to stand up, take your paper with you, and find a different partner. Okay, this time we have 2 minutes because there's more questions. Remember, the other person is just listening. And it's the taller person is going to share first.
Getting fit, just being more motivated, goals right now, just man like my wife well, so you sort of trying to split up.
And then eventually,
for a year, she's pretty accepting lady that's right now, so it's good.
So what was it? No, what was your values? What did you look for in people? Say your what value did you look for? What attribute did you look for? What's the
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll just go ahead and stop making early goals from the right hungry, man. What's your why? Because I was a coach, a trainer for the last 4 years. And I just got a boxing coach as well. I used to run a business in there. I just got into real estate and I made a big change just to more secure in the future for me. So that's why I secure for my family and so I can set a lifestyle. So I was working from 5 to 9 every day. And then a few hours off during the day and then back at work. But happiness when I'm training at the gym, to be honest. But I was starting to lose that happiness when I was doing it full on every day. I was starting to go over it, man. And it's what I love the most. That's another
Okay guys, we'll switch now or just finish up if you haven't quite and then switch over to the next person.
Quite have a few fights this year as well. It's got this one boost. Do you know what I mean? So it's alright when I was a trainer, I can have a bad game. When you're training, it's hard. It's cool, actually. You want it 3 times an hour at a time, man. Punches, they're bound to get I'm in a job, man. You can't. It's not like I'm a real estate agent, I'm talking to a black guy and you've got the bus like that. No, get something else, got the assessment, so this big changes on you. I'm running a gym and the last year and it's over, man. It's it's all new, man.
Good work on it? It's going good.
What about you, mate? What?
Me and my bro got a company.
What brought you down to Whitehall?
Okay guys, is that enough Did anyone get any interesting insights from that, either from what you heard from your partner or just even when you had to actually write down words on paper? Did things come out that kind of you didn't realize or add-ons?
The answer that me and my partner had were almost very similar.
Yeah.
So we're had the same visions and things that we ideas.
Same values? Was there anything within yours that you wrote down that was new, or were things that you already knew that you wanted for yourself?
No, already knew.
Did anybody else have anything new that they wrote down that was maybe an upgraded or revised? Their why, or maybe one of their core values?
For me, I mean, come on. Sit down. So for me, I was aware, but not like it. Just like reframing it, bringing things that were in the back of my mind to the front of my mind, and just kind of sitting in the back there. So yeah, I just found that it was, and also make it really clear. Like until I go through a process, I find it really difficult to know exactly what I want. I kind of know what I want. I kind of know I'm going this way. I kind of know I want that, and I don't hit things. Generally, when I do this process of writing something down, I can start to. I generally get there subconsciously, even if I don't look at it that much. I kind of can look at it at the end of the year and go, oh, there you go. And I hadn't done that yet, so I was really excited about this because stuff in the back of my mind now coming forward, and I go, oh, that is actually what I do want. Yeah, right. Okay, I can work towards that. Yeah. So just thanks to that, it's making me aware.
Nice.
I had something
new that probably hasn't been clear to me about goals before. It was quite simple. It was just to being able to go for a run and a surf daily. And I think it's because I probably think it's probably more achievable now than, so it's clearer, it can be crystallised a bit more, whereas before vague sort of goals have been to have more time and have more energy and all, whereas this is a bit more specific now because I'm starting to believe I can do it.
Amazing. I'm going to pass it over to Simon now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and
cool.
then we'll go, and then we'll continue on from there. 'Cause-
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Well, Misha's going to be my assistant, I think, tonight. As usual, she's always there. All right, I'm going to sit on this too because. Sorry, Mishy. Oh, sorry, Mishy. What do you do? No, she should be used me. All right. So today, look, I'm going to talk to you about self-limiting beliefs and trauma. You think, what the hell has that got to do with goals, right? And here we go. And I'm going to try and make it as fun as I can. You know, because I think all of this stuff that I've been through in my life, I look back on, and it's affected me in a positive way as well as a negative way. Part of the stuff that I've been through in my life has given me some of the character traits that I'm really proud of, such as empathy, understanding, and if I hadn't gone through what I've gone through in my childhood, I wouldn't be the person I was today. So just because we've gone through things, and we're going to talk about, firstly, I want to open a little bit of discussion up, is what do you guys think, or what would you define is trauma? What's trauma? Who would ever say, what is trauma? Just have a guess.
Like anything that you can't really mentally handle, and so you sort of bottle it up for later.
Okay, yeah. Anyone else? What would you decide?
Just the stressing event.
Something that's a distressful event, something you can't handle, something that's distressing, yep. What else? Have a guess.
Something negative when you want.
Something negative, okay, good. Okay. Anyone else? An injury, so you have a trauma, like a traumatic injury, so a car accident or you drop something on your foot's quite traumatic. Yeah, and I've got a definition for trauma, especially emotional trauma, and I define trauma as anything less than nurturing. What the hell does that mean? Anything less than nurturing. So, what about when people say, hey, Stein, you have a bit of a tummy? Would you call that a nurturing comment or a judgmental comment? You know what I mean? Might be true, but whose business is it? What about... It might be true, right? It's not be true, but it's whose business is that, right? Anything less than nurturing. So if you think about that in terms of our lives and how we live our everyday lives and how we treat ourselves, how do we treat ourselves on a daily basis? If you think about your mindset, what kind of messages are we telling ourselves on a daily basis that are less than nurturing thoughts? For example, I want to play a little video clip here because I thought it'd be quite funny. And I would like you guys to write this name down on your piece of paper. Her name is Byron Katie. And she has a book, and I would recommend this as an... I've got to change this, there we go. She's got a book called Loving What Is, and it really changed my life when I read it. It's doing the work of Byron Katie, so it's all about inquiry. But
Do you need to unplug my phone?
no, technology, see? Hey, I'll try and find it now. Okay, yeah. Okay. I did have it before, but of course, as you know, technology is, it's 45 seconds is all I want to play for. Just going to do it on Katie. There we go, 49 seconds now. I'm going to bring this up.
Have you ever looked at a fly trying to get out because it's trapped in a building and it's smashing itself against the window harder and harder with the belief?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
So I'm letting her play the ad, so we'll go up. All right.
That's a great... Have you ever looked at a fly trying to get out because it's trapped in a building and it's smashing its...
Good. Now, this is Byron Kate.
Hi, I'm too closed. I should open. I'm the wrong color. There's something wrong with me. I'm too tall. Look, I'm taller than everyone else. There's something wrong with me. I'm so closed. I'm so tight. I need an adjustment. I'm yellow, and I know that's for cowards. And without the story, beauty, connected, no comparison, just nothing changed, did it? Who would you be without the thought?
Who would you be without the story? The story. And the reason why I want to play that right now is when we got our core beliefs going on ahead and we're talking about the mindsets and talking about mindset and trauma, anything being less than nurturing. Who can relate? She's just talking about a rose, yeah? And what things that the rose, if it had a mind, could be saying about itself. I'm too tall, I'm this, I'm that, and this and that. Think about the thoughts that we have on a daily basis that are running us. I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too ugly, I'm too pretty, I'm too whatever. We've got this daily log running on through our heads all day, all night, all day, all night. How do you think this might affect us on our daily lives? Can anyone relate to having these kind of thoughts going on in their lives? Hands up, just a hands up. Yes or no? I don't want to be the only one. All right, because I know I do have more going every day. Yeah. Now, when do you think this starts? When do you think this process starts? Like, this is an interactive talk that I'm just doing now. I really don't like giving talks on its own because I like engagement. So, look, if I said to you, where do you think it starts? Where do you think the first signs of these things start coming out? Where do we hear these negative talks?
School.
School, yep. What else? Family, yep. Yep. Who?
Whole family.
Whole family, mum, dad, yeah. Brothers, sisters. Where else?
Work pressure.
Work pressure. Where does it start though? When do you think this starts? At work?
That's when you're old enough to realise that people are different to you, or things are different.
When you're old enough.
When you get that concept in your head that not everyone's the same.
Cool. Now, I'm going to tell you when it starts. The moment, actually, it starts in the mother's womb with what she's going through. That's when it really starts. Have you ever heard of if a mother's really stressed and anxious and worried and all this tension, where do you think all that tension goes? It's in that child's body. That child has experienced trauma. If the mother's been traumatized at home, if she's got an abusive husband or she's got a lack of security, it starts all the way back there in the womb. And you come out. What are some of the first words that your parents tell you? And it could be positive or negative, but what are some of the first things your mum and dad says to you? Don't. Stop. Yeah. What else? What's some other words? What do you reckon? Lisa, what's some other words your mum and dad might say?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I love you.
I love you. No. Yep. So love you is a good one. What about good, bad? And like you said, beautiful, but like pretty. Beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. And why that? And then so we've got emphasis on beauty. We have emphasis on good, bad. We start to understand good and bad, or right and wrong, and we start to judge things right from the word go. So as a child as well, I'm just going to talk really simply. First, really simply, we're going to establish where abuse starts, and it can be subconscious. It's not like it's a conscious thing. It's like we're all human beings, right? Having a human experience. Mishi, what do you want to do? Hey? Experiment. Do you want to have a read? Do you want to write your goals? Hey? All right. Can you sit? Oh, all right, come on. You're going to help me talk. Come on. That's it. You help me talk. Okay. Can you go to mummy? Go over there. Go to mummy. Go to mummy. Oh, okay. That's pure love. Oh, it's awesome. So, it's great. As a child, we're egocentric, so everything revolves around us because we've got no idea, we've got nothing to we've got no referral base, no point of reference to judge anything by. So when something happens to us as a child, it's just all about us. So for example, my mum was a single mother. My dad was not around at all. So my core belief straight away from birth is I'm not valuable. That's without me even doing anything. I don't have a dad to start with. And my mum was emotionally stressed. Can you imagine what's going on straight away there? So then I become my mum's everything. Imagine what's going on and all the thought processes around that. Good.
I can share an example too for me. Like, I've done a lot of limiting belief work, and I just continue to unravel more and more and more and more and more of the beliefs. And the thing is, every single human being has many of them. There's nobody that's exempt from limiting beliefs. You can have the stupidest thing happen when you're 5 years old, and we make a story from that point, which we carry on, that we wouldn't, when we think back in hindsight, it's the stupidest thing. It didn't matter at all, but to us in that moment, it did. And for me, when I was little, I'm the older sister. My sister was 4 years younger, and we both loved to dance. And we had the record player, and we'd always pick our records and put them on in the living room, and we danced. Now, my sister was a natural-born dancer. She actually ended up training in the premier ballet school in Canada, and so she was really good. And so she had that natural talent in her. I was pretty good at dancing too, but maybe not quite at that level. And you know, there was a few times when people were coming over, and my sister and I would dance in the living room, and a lot of people would say to her, "Christy, you're such an amazing dancer." They didn't say anything to me, but in that moment, as you know, a 7-year-old or 8-year-old, I created the belief, well, I'm not good enough, you know, and I probably shouldn't dance in front of people. They didn't say anything to me. The positive words to my sister created a limiting belief in myself. And so, you know, there was another moment where my dad forgot to pick me up from the swimming pool. And he completely forgot. I was sitting there out in the cold for half an hour, and I then created the belief, I think I was 8 or 9 years old, I created the belief that I'm not important and I'm forgettable. That came from that point. Half an hour, my dad forgot it was his night to get me, you know? And I had a lifetime of I'm not important, I'm forgettable, no one notices me. That then runs, remember, this is subconscious patterning that's running in our minds that every single one of us has. And it's an interesting game just to try to start to identify it, so that when we can catch it, it becomes conscious, it doesn't trigger us anymore, and it doesn't have a negative impact. Sorry to go into that.
No, that's fine. No, I'm really grateful. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. So, I just lost my train of thought. I just was here. So great, fantastic. So if you can think about like that example, I was going to talk about about what went on for me as well as a child. But I think just very simply, just all these little things that happen in our lives shape who we are, and they determine the way we make decisions on our daily lives. Who's done something and they go, I've done that again? Yeah, you know what I mean? I've done this again. So for me, it's speeding. I'm always speeding. I've done it again. You know, sorry.
Any fines?
Any fines? I've done it again. It's a behaviour that you repeat. Has anyone got done behaviours that they repeat and repeat, just and they don't know why? Yeah. Generally, this is because you can't relate to that, Alan. Nah. No, never. That's it. So we've got this sometimes we just kind of got this way of being in the world where we repeat behaviour. And generally that's because we've got these core beliefs running in the background, and we'll make sure that we have these feelings, these core beliefs working, because if they don't work, what's life look like without it? Does that make sense? So if for example, mine is I'm not good enough. So I will constantly be working out a way to make sure that I can feel not good enough. And how does that work out? So I will put myself in situations where I'm destined to fail. See, I couldn't do that. Or maybe in a relationship where I've messed up again. Or maybe in a job where I am quite capable, I know what I'm doing, but I'll just be airheaded and absent-minded. So I'll create a situation where I'll get fired. And that happened many times to me in my life. So That's how our core beliefs work, and they work in a way that we just don't even understand, because they're all working in the background of our minds. They're not here. And if they're not in the front, if our core beliefs aren't in front and we're not aware, how can we change them? It's impossible, right? So I want to ask you guys, how as well do you think your core beliefs shape your lives? What are the things that, how does your core beliefs shape your lives today? Not just in things that you do, what else can it shape your core beliefs?
Your surroundings. People around you.
People around you, it's a big one. Yeah? Yeah. So what else? We'll actually go into that a bit further. How does that work, Jamie? How do you think that works?
Well, my core values are respect, loyalty, trust and family.
Yeah.
So I tend to attract people who's got the same core values.
Mm-hmm.
If I notice somebody doesn't seem loyal or doesn't seem like they respect me, then they'll quite quickly down my circle. I won't talk to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I won't make an effort with them.
That's
So
exactly
you
right.
create your circle based on your core values.
On your core values, exactly. And so what if someone's core value is alcohol, drinking? Who do they surround themselves with?
Alcoholics.
Alcoholics. So are they going to surround themselves with people that don't drink?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they feel comfortable with being that person.
Yeah.
Instead of judging them.
Exactly.
So,
What about drugs? So we're in a society now that drugs and alcohol are really socially acceptable, right? Really socially acceptable. So are you going to hang around with people that don't use drugs and alcohol, don't drink, or are you going to hang around with people that do and do that? And so what does your world look like then? Do you think in your world that everybody, so we're just going to use drugs and alcohol because it's apt and outside. Do you think that your whole world is going to be like, if I said to you, everybody drinks and takes drugs, if I was a young teenager maybe today, let's say, yeah, I've had it said to me many times, everybody drinks and takes drugs. They go, okay, that's not true. And they go, yes it is, everybody drinks and takes drugs. And it's true to them. Why?
it's an environment.
It's their environment, and so it's the environment that we've created. Hey guys, come in. It's the environment that we create around us due to the core values and belief systems that we've got going. So, this is really important. It's not just happens in the social circles. They say by the time we're 7 years old, we've got nearly 10,000 hours of negative tapes running through our mind. So forget about after 7, this is by the time you're 7, because of the experiences that you've gone through in your life to that point. It's a really deep thing. I'm probably going to wrap it up very quickly now, but I wanted to just bring these concepts into your mind, into your forefront, because people go, well, this doesn't work for me, this is not for me, this is not true. And that's okay. This might be your first time you've ever been hearing about these concepts and how your core beliefs can shape your world. And how it shapes your world is the people you have around you. It shapes the experiences you have. It shapes the way that you can. It shapes the goals that you have in your life. So the goals that you're setting right now. If you've got no aspirations because you don't feel you're good enough or worthy, what's your goals? What kind of goals are you going to set? Another one that I had as a child was, I am stupid. How do you think that might affect me? What do you reckon? How do you think that might affect me, Pedro? If I'm stupid.
Right, negative way, you mean that?
Yeah, what's the kind of outcome of that?
Well, you'll just believe it.
I'll believe it. And how is that? If I believe that I'm stupid, how am I going to act?
Probably won't study hard.
Sorry?
Act it out.
Yeah. Sorry?
Probably won't study as hard if you don't think you've got enough potential.
Yeah. So every time I go to study, I'll go, oh, what's the words that I'm going to say? I can't do this. This is too hard. Guess what? I failed at school. Year 10, I failed everything. I passed Italian, I think, because I loved the Italian teacher. And I think I passed it, I don't know, something else. I passed out of 2 subjects out of 20 or something. I did well at English, actually. But then I wanted to go to uni as a mature age student, and I went, oh God, I'm going to really struggle. This is going to be hopeless. It's going to be terrible. And I went and did a pre-tertiary course, and I sat down and I got HDs, high distinctions, in every single one of the exams and the assignments that I did, and I aced it in my public speaking. So I got HDs the whole time. So my core belief and what the reality was were 2 separate things. Yeah, and it wasn't until I went through that experience around that core belief, I went, oh, sugar, I'm not that stupid. After all, I'm actually quite smart. I can do this. I am a critical thinker. I can sit down and do the work that I need to. So, the big thing about trauma as well. So if I said to you anything less than nurturing is trauma, that means that we've all been affected by our parents, our schools, our environment in a negative way and a positive way. But how can things change if I've got a belief that everything was perfect? My parents were perfect, my childhood was perfect, my schooling was perfect, everything that I went through was perfect. Therefore, I'm not even aware of what went on, really. And the other big thing about this when I talk to people about core beliefs and coming in touch with maybe the less than perfect life that they think they have, is firstly, there is no blame, because the biggest, scariest part of getting in touch with really going back there and having a look at this stuff is, oh shit, if I admit that I've had a less than perfect childhood, like my parents were always kind, they were always loving, they were always there for me. If I admit anything else except for that reality, that means I'm going to blame them, or I'm going to blame my parents, or I'm going to blame the people that have done this. You know, it's too scary to do that. But instead of doing that, looking at them back and go, hey, just acknowledging the fact that I went through stuff and I've created these core belief systems that are affecting my life today in a positive and negative way. So I have another thing around this. I know we're going a bit deep, but another thing about this is I will also attract the person in my life, like in a partnership that I have, according to my belief systems in order to heal my past history as well, which is a big one. So they're not good enough, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not lovable is another one that sits there. I will attract the person in my life to validate those things as well. So when I'm not doing something right, the partner I'm with will tell me, "Yep, you're wrong again." Yeah. If I do something, I'll also create situations where I can make sure that I'm unlovable in that relationship, or unlovable in my friendships. I can make mistakes and still go, oh yeah, you've fucking done this, you've done that, and then I can go back into that space. Now, this is not where I operate from. This is far from where I operate from now, but I do go back there at times. And with that, my core belief systems, I've had to recreate new belief systems around the old ones and reprogram. It doesn't mean I never go back there, but what it means is I start to have new ones. So the opposite to I'm unlovable is what? I'm lovable. So if this behaviour was formed out of I'm an unlovable space, I need to do this behaviour with this new core belief system that I am lovable, and I need to go there and I need to question this one and look at the evidence. Am I really unlovable? And if I said today, am I unlovable? Who are you? You're friends of mine, right? We get on well and we're here together and we're going on this journey together. I've got great people in my life around behind the desk with me, and I've got great friends in my life that are by my side. These are all evidences that are saying, hey, Simon, you're lovable, you're a good bloke. And I need to look at that stuff instead of the shit that goes on in my head on a daily basis and reprogram. Does that make sense, team? Yes or no? Yes? Yep. All right, awesome. So let's look at what are the steps to recovery then around this, and steps of maybe when we go through the process of looking at these goals. How much time do I have left?
If you want to go for it's 5 minutes.
5 minutes max, yeah, no, that's it. So I just want to talk about the concept. So today, this is just a very surface level talk. If we were to go in depth, there'd be work, we'd be writing down lots of stuff, and we'd go, oh shit, maybe he's right. But the first step of change is firstly awareness. So the first step of change is awareness. So if I'm not aware that I've got limiting core beliefs running in the back of my life, and in my mind and in my body, then I can't change it. Is that true? It's just sitting there. Yeah. The second part of that is, once we're aware of this core belief, we've got to ask, is this working for me anymore? Is this belief true or not? Is this true or untrue? And most of the time we'll believe it's true because that's what we've always gone through. But then what we need to do is look for the evidence in that, like I just said, and discover whether, hey, is what I'm feeling, is what I'm thinking true? Where is the evidence in my life for that? And by doing that, and this is with yourself, but I think it's even more important to do this with somebody, because generally if we do it with ourselves, we'll continue on the journey and we'll justify exactly that. Yes, I am this way, right? I need to do this with somebody. Then, once we've searched for the truth, this needs to be done with somebody, we look for the actual reality. So the one is, I'm unlovable. Is that true? Would you say that's a true statement? Yes or no to me? Simon is unlovable. Would you say that's a true statement?
No.
No, why? And then you give me a whole bunch of reasons why you don't think that's true, right? And you're the voices I need to listen to. Why? Because mine doesn't serve me. Yeah? And by the new, I just want to end up in this by two things. So by adopting new core belief systems, by thinking, by trying to by doing this work, adopting new core belief systems, new values, creating new values and core belief systems, you get to live a new life. Stop repeating the same patterns of old, getting new results, starting to achieve your dreams and your visions and your goals that you're going to set now for the future. Can you imagine, which we're going to go into a bit later, but if I keep the value that I'm unlovable, what kind of life? Just one value, just this one value, I'm unlovable. Can you imagine the behaviour that I'm going to project? Can you imagine the quality of life I'm going to lead on a day-to-day? And can you imagine what my life would look like in 10 years from now, and what people would be around me with the one, just the one, not to mention the hundreds and maybe thousands of core values that are going on in the background, what my life would look like in 10 years? Do you think I'd have more people or less people in my life? Do you think I'd be wealthier or unwealthy? Do you think I'd be happy or sad? Do you think I'd be depressed? 100%, 100%, just that one core value. Does that make sense, team? All right? And so I would like to give you this one principle that I live my life by. It's called the How principle. I learnt this 16 years ago. And if you want, you can write this down. I really believe it to be the cornerstone of my life. And it's called the How principle. It means to live with honesty, openness, and willingness. It's three words that mean a hell of a lot to me. Does it mean I'm always honest? No, it means I still lie, but I'm open about when I lie. Yeah? Do I still do self-harm kind of behaviours? Yes, I do, but I'm honest about when I do. And I'm willing to change it. Yeah? So I would like to say that if change can only occur in the light, it can't occur in the darkness. It can't occur when we're defending ourselves or coming from a position of everything is okay. And if we think that, asking somebody, are you okay, is enough, even when they're not okay, how do you think that you can help that person if they're not okay, if you're not in touch with this stuff yourself? Are you okay? No. Well, how can I help you? Well, I'm feeling really depressed, sad, and you go, I don't feel that. and you've not worked through your depression or sadness or stuff like that. So I would like to, one of my goals is to leave a dent, an impact in the world. And the only way I can do that is to do this kind of stuff, to make lots of mistakes, and just to make that cool, and to improve my public speaking, improving my openness and my transparency and vulnerability. Because if I'm more vulnerable, open, transparent, I'm becoming a stronger person. I'm becoming more of a person that I want to be and project into the world. I've got no fake mask. I don't have to be the leader. I don't have to be the person with the answers. I don't have to be the person that gets it right. I'm a human having a human experience on a day-to-day basis. And that's really, really important. So thank you for your time and your attention. I hope this little bit of, I hope this helps you in creating what your 5 and 10 year goals look like, and maybe having a different thought, have a different way of looking at how you go about the next part of this. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so important that you heard what Simon had to share, because we actually can't ever create effective goals if we're stuck in our limiting belief, because it'll just, it's like, there's that saying, wherever you go, there you are. Yeah. It's like we get written down on a piece of paper, I know I really want that, but then I'm still operating from a subconscious state of mind, and therefore I'll still keep creating the same things in my life. One way I was taught, in order to, before doing goal setting or any kind of manifestation work like this, is to actually make it a physical energy practice. So you can just watch first. So to actually stand in, here I am, Lisa, neutral, I'm in white collar boxing, Monday night at whatever time it is. Nothing's happening. I'm just me, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody says something, and I could maybe start to go into my head and be like, oh, did I not say that properly? Was that person judging me? And then like there comes that negative belief again. And that's me and I've named them. So this is me, I've named them Betty and Veronica. I don't know if you guys know for the Archie comics. But anyway, so Betty is me when I'm in my limiting belief. And when I'm in my limiting belief, it's a physical energy. And all of us know when we kind of get that feeling in the pit of our stomach that something's kind of like, ugh, like just not nice. Like maybe we said something that we regret, or we just had something come up in our mind that felt bad. This is the feeling in your body, which is important to get physically before we create new goals. So just recognizing that here's neutral, nothing's happening, Lisa, and here's Lisa when I go into my head and get triggered by something, usually something stupid, but something that's probably not even real or true, and puts me into that state. But that's okay, because this state over here has also given me gifts. Because I believed I wasn't good enough, I've been able to work really, really hard to do public speaking and be more comfortable at it and be vulnerable. And so there's gifts. There are positives always coming from the limiting beliefs as well. But then it's important that if we're wanting to be moving forward in creating something new, I have to have another person over there. So this is Veronica. And Veronica's awesome. And she isn't afraid of things that I've done in the past. Because it's a fresh start, I'm moving forward, and I'm kind of done with that. I recognize it's over there. I say thank you so much for the gifts, for the learning that you've continued to give me for 38 years. But right now I'm about this. And so it's just really important to even think physically in your body, our beliefs or where we are, our mindset, our attitude will be felt. And so this next session that we're going into is all about feeling, and I'm going to take you through the guided meditation to take you not into trying to figure out some perfect vision, because that could change, but to get you into a feeling of something that you actually genuinely want. And the rest will be shaped by life, or God, or whoever you want to describe. So the biggest thing to remember is that when we're going into our 10-year vision, actually, there's no point in doing goal setting if you don't have a 10-year vision, because then if somebody were to ask you, is what you're doing today helping you to get to your 10-year vision? And you say, well, I don't know, because I don't even have a 10-year vision, then it's not a very good plan, is it? It's kind of like we're just going back on that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that if you set a goal today that you can't change it later. You can. We have our free will. We can change things every day. You can redo your goals tomorrow. It's fine. Reassess. But it's really important that we're not sitting in limitations when we're doing this really joyful, fun, daydreaming work, which is what this ultimately is. So the number one rule in this visualization in the goal setting is there's no limitations. I don't care what experiences you've gone through in your life. They have absolutely nothing to do with what you're allowing yourself to possibly envision for yourself. They can be ridiculous. They can be the most silly things that you've never even let yourself really admit that you want. You're allowed to admit and play with right now. So that's kind of the context around that. So it's even just thinking of, if you were to say, this isn't possible because this, and this, it's like those don't exist. They're not even there. Those thoughts aren't there for the next 15 minutes. Yeah. Also, when we move forward and we start to write down the goals, we're going to be writing everything in the present tense. So when you go down and you write 1, 2, or 3 goals for a 10-year career, it's not going to say, I want to be doing this. It's going to be, I am the President of the United States. Which any of us would be an upgrade.
Everyone's a Trumpy, yeah.
So just, keeping in mind that we're letting ourselves just really have fun, be playful, let yourself go wherever it is that your actual biggest dreams are, like maybe the ones that you had when you were a kid. That, people or life told you we're stupid or unattainable for all the different reasons why. Well, those reasons don't exist right now. So this is just for you to play, experiment. So I'll get everybody to lie on your back. You don't need anything underneath you. Legs are straight and hands are down by your sides.
Is that still recording, Jamie?
Simon, how do I put this back to? So uncross your feet if your feet were crossed, and let your ankles just fall out to the sides. Turn your palms to face up to the ceiling and take your hands just slightly away from your body. Make sure you get any last little minute fidgets out. Scrunch your face, your eyes, scratch your nose if you want to. Once we commit to remaining still, we're not going to try to remain still. We're just going to let ourselves relax and not have to do anything. So first connecting with the feeling of your body on the ground. Noticing your heels, calves, your pelvis, the right side of your pelvis, the left side of your pelvis. Your shoulders, and the weight of your head imprinting into the ground. Allowing your fingers to relax, your toes, and all the muscles in your face, just let go. From here, very gently watching breath coming in and out of your nose. There's no need to change it. There's no interpretation of your breath. There's no right or wrong way. You're just breathing naturally. Feeling the point where the back of your body touches the floor. The point on the floor where the back of your body is connected. And as you lie here, becoming aware of sound. First, noticing sounds that are far away, maybe outside of the gym. Identifying the loudest sound that comes into your awareness. Not attaching any meaning to the sound, just letting it move through you. Noticing sounds of nature. Remaining awake in your mind and completely at rest in your body. Notice the sounds in the room. The sound of my voice. Maybe little cracks in the walls or the ceiling. The music. Notice the sounds you are drawn towards. and any sounds that create an aversion in your mind. And as you lie here, it's creating a simple intention for yourself. Something maybe that you would like to gain clarity on. And saying those words 3 times to yourself in your mind. From here, just simply following my voice, staying awake in your mind, and completely at rest in your body, nothing to do. Bring your awareness to the sides of your eyes, relaxing your eyes, the muscles around your mouth, and the root of your tongue. Let it be free. And then noticing your right thumb tip, your right index finger, the tip of your right middle finger, your right ring finger, your right baby finger, noticing your right palm, the back of your right hand, feeling your entire right hand, noticing your right wrist, your right forearm, and your right elbow, feeling your upper right arm, the entirety of your right arm, moving to your left thumb, your index finger on the left hand, the tip of your middle finger, feeling it, your ring fingertip, baby fingertip, feeling all 5 of your fingers, letting them relax, noticing your left palm, the back of your left hand, your left wrist, your left forearm, your elbow. Feel your left elbow, the upper arm, your entire left arm. Feeling your chest, your belly, and softening into your lower back, your right hip and your left hip, your right knee and your left knee, your right ankle and your left ankle, your right big toe, right index toe, right middle toe, right ring toe, right little toe. Your entire right foot is heavy. Your left big toe, tip of your index toe, your left middle toe, the 4th toe, and the baby toe, letting them go, feeling your entire left foot, relaxing your whole body, letting it sink into the ground, Every muscle hangs off the bones as your eyes sink down into your skull. As you lie here breathing, aware of your breath, without needing to do anything, you allow yourself to travel without effort, just letting yourself go into the future. It's 10 years from today, 21st of January 2029. You are unlimited. You can be and do anything in the world that you desire. Where are you? Are you sitting down? Are you standing up? What does your body feel like? Are you indoors or outdoors? What time of the day is it? Is it the morning, sunrise? Midday in the sun? Cloudy? Is it evening, dusk? Or maybe nighttime, it's dark? Get a sense of your surroundings. Get a sense of anything that comes in to show you where you are. What does it look like? What does it feel like to be where you are? What does it feel like to love every minute of your life? What does a day in your ideal life look like? Where do you wake up? Who are you with? Are there people around you? Or are you happily by yourself? Where do you live? What type of home do you have? What does it look like? What is your community like? The people you spend the most time with? How do you feel with them? How do you interact with them? Are you single? Do you have a partner? Are you married? Maybe you're living with friends. Do you have children? Pets? Plants? What is surrounding you? Do you work? And if you do work, where do you work? Do you have an office that you go to? Do you work from your home? Are you near the beach? Are you in the mountains? What is surrounding you in nature? What birds do you hear? Do you travel? What type of lifestyle do you have? Do you hike? Do you go to the gym? Do you surf? What do you do for fun? What do you do in your free time? How do you take care of yourself? What are you most grateful for? Who do you really want to be? What do you really want to have? Where do you really want to go? What are your greatest successes? And what has surprised you the most? Drop in and let yourself be there. Feeling your breath. Feeling the heaviness of your body. Feeling your body. Feeling your body. Starting to notice your breath. Noticing the parts of your body that are touching the floor. Bringing your awareness back to sound. Touch. Gently moving your fingertips. Gently moving your toes. Taking a deep breath in. And a long breath out. And then reaching your arms over your head and your feet away from you in the opposite direction. Reconnecting with your physical body in this room. Reaching over your head, feet away from you. Feel your body here right now, coming back. And then very slowly rolling over to your desired side. And then coming up, when you're ready, back to a seat. And if anything, you had a little nap, right? The way Yoga Nidra works is it actually takes you into your subconscious mind. It's between, I can't remember what the brain waves are, but I have it written down somewhere else. But you're in between the dreaming waves and being awake. In this place is when we can actually make real change with our subconscious mind. These guided meditations like this are probably one of the most incredible healing practices we could do, especially working with limiting beliefs. I've been doing it myself for a couple of years now, and I've been committing to try to do one every day. I used to label it as being like, oh, a waste of time, until I realized how freaking effective it is. It's like the work is being done for me while I have a nap. It's amazing. So if you want to know more about that, come talk to me after. But I hope you enjoyed and maybe even saw one or two little things or had some little insight from the 10-year vision. And don't worry if you didn't get anything, it's fine. It's fine. But what we're going to do now is come back to actually working with beginning to create our goals. And all I want you to do is take 2 minutes and write down a few words or feelings that you got first from that meditation, from the vision, just so you don't forget them. So on number 3, just writing down a few words or sentences. It could be just physical sensation. I was really aware of tightness in my lower back. Or I saw myself with a red dog sitting on a patio, whatever it is that comes to your mind right away. keep in mind also that when we sometimes draw blanks, that's a limiting belief. That's a perfect example. Sometimes I do that a lot. I freeze when I feel overwhelmed or I feel confused. That's my limiting belief coming in. There's nothing wrong with it. I just notice it. Oh, right. Kind of snap myself back, get back into my body. Hello, ground. Nothing's happening. Write something down. Pulling myself back as many times as necessary. Trying to maintain some element of feeling that you experience during the meditation. We're then going to go into the 10-year goals, 5-year goals, and 1-year goals. So with the actual goals themselves, we've actually done all the work already. So it's a different way of doing it where we're not spending hours and hours trying to do all of the manifestation work. When you're just writing a piece of paper, you've already done the work. So from here, just a few things to remember is you want to make sure that the goal is a SMART goal. And if you go to number 4 on your paper, it says SMART is specific. What are the details of the goal? Measurable. How can I actually measure my goal? Is it achievable? And is it realistic? And by realistic, I don't, because I said before, we want to be willing to allow ourselves to dream of anything is possible. But realistic is, am I willing to commit to my goal? Am I actually really willing to put what it takes into action to create it? As an example, the reason why we start with 10-year goals is because if we don't, like I said before, we don't have the vision in place, how do you know what other steps you need to take to get there? So the goals, what they look like is more I am statements. So it's almost like the result of the goal. So in 10-year goal for career would be, I am the President of the United States. I am. It's not I am going to be, I am. It's already happened. Or it could be personal. I am married, I have 5 kids, and I have a sailboat. Health, I'm in better shape than I've ever been in my entire life. I can't believe I've lost this much weight. I can't believe that I've stuck to my diet so amazingly. I feel amazing. So the goals are actually the results, is what we're working towards here. So you don't even have to do all of the work right now. But if you wanted to even write down 1 for health, 1 for personal, and 1 for career, I think these were stapled the other way. It doesn't matter.
Can I take these first? Oh, sorry.
Anyways, you could figure it out. The 10-year, I think, is on the back. Fill them out wherever you want. So the question is, if I want to be the President of the United States in 10 years, then what do I have to be at 5 years? And then what do I have to be at the end of this year in order to make the 5-year goal? So they all, if they're not feeding into each other, they're not going to be very helpful goals. Or they're not actually living into your life purpose or your vision. So question whether they're actually the right goals. And you may want to choose something different. Or you may want to take less goals and keep it really simple and just have 1. Does anybody have any questions? Have I been clear with that? I just need to know.
No, that's awesome. No,
Is that-
really
is that
good. Yeah,
clear?
very
Yeah.
clear. Thank you so much. Yeah, starting that with I am is very important.
Yeah. Sorry. Not printed big enough. Just as you write things down, keep in mind, notice when things come into your head that say, oh, maybe not, oh, yes, I'd really love that, but, and take those buts or the maybe not out, and just let yourself write what you really want. There's a great saying that we overestimate what we're capable of doing in 1 year, and we always underestimate what we're capable of doing in 10 years. So 1 year can be simple. Does anybody need help at all? For those of you who have already started to get near finished, I want you to start thinking about what are some simple actions just for the 1 year goals that you could start taking tomorrow. Not Wednesday, tomorrow. Maybe one thing. What's one thing you can start doing tomorrow?
Believing in myself.
Pardon?
Believing in myself.
But it's also, it has to be a SMART goal, so it has to be measurable. So what would believing in yourself, how do we measure believing in yourself? It is possible, but just think about it that way. And what would that look like for you if you didn't doubt yourself anymore? Would you behave differently with certain people in your life?
Yeah. I surround myself with very people. It's not against them. It's just because it's not good for me. Like you said, with alcohol, hanging out with them.
Yes. So just choosing different community. And then how would you feel about yourself in that situation?
So much better than myself. So much more. Because I hang around people that don't judge me because there's differences. It's more like we feel comfortable.
And so maybe you would be not judging
Don't
yourself
care about
as
me.
much either. So maybe you would be not judging yourself as
Yes,
much either.
exactly.
What would be possible if you had this whole new group of community around you for your life?
Myself. So much more. But it's like more, it's like I'm very bad at putting myself down all the time. So I surround my friends that like constantly joke about me not being good as I am because I'm used to it. I think it's just funny, but then it's just
Because that would be one of your limiting beliefs that you're recreating to make sure that it
I make it
maintains.
as a joke, but
Yeah.
it
Oh,
hurts.
of course. Would there be anything that you would physically do in your life if you were feeling better about yourself like that?
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym?
That's funny.
Cool. Does anybody else have something they know that they could do tomorrow?
For me, it's
So long come up with one day at a time. And just trying to change that way of thinking.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the way you've been thinking. It's all okay. And if there's something else that you're wanting for your life, there's something you could add in, maybe. Instead of taking away, just add something new also. Don't worry about, because I hear that you're almost judging yourself now for that way as being wrong, but maybe it's not. Yeah. Maybe there's just something else new to add in. Additional. Remember, we can't take the bad news about ourselves away, but we can replace and enhance with other more positive, better things. And then the bad news part of ourselves doesn't have any impact over us anymore. And it takes time. And it's worth it.
For example, like, so I guess if you're used to doing a certain thing all the time, maybe the thing you could do tomorrow would be the opposite of that. Or maybe start with, maybe something you could do is reach out, talk to somebody. So the action is maybe talk to somebody about what's going on. Or so the action is doing, or for me, it's going to be creating a new morning ritual, a different morning ritual. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about as well? Yeah. So the action, yeah.
Because then you could measure your morning ritual by the fact that you did it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then didn't do it Thursday. And oh well, who cares? But you pick it up again Friday.
Exactly. Or starting meditation, or just something, a behaviour that you could do to help improve your life.
A really powerful exercise for those of you that enjoy just kind of like free auto writing is just spending 10 minutes a day writing whatever comes out. And if you're seeking clarity, it's a really helpful way to get it. Does anybody else have any insights or would like to say out loud to the group, which is also very powerful when you use your words and your language and announce as a statement, which can also be scary because then other people hold you accountable.
I think what you were saying before about the rituals is a really good point. I kind of just started it without setting goals, doing anything, where I go and photograph the sunrise every morning. And that's, ever since I started doing that, I've just felt happier with myself, and just each day I've sort of stopped letting other things annoy me, and stopped letting other people's anger come on me, and then me carry that anger as well. And it all starts with just the morning, just going, with me, that photographing, it's almost like a meditation for me. And I think it's a really good point that about the whole ritual of starting your day, what Simon said, just doing something each day.
It's like time for you.
Yeah, it is. It's like, if I don't do it, it's like I get a little uneasy in that day, It's just something I'll try and do each day.
Yeah, amazing.
It just gives you a minute to appreciate everything that's around you, and how good the world actually is. It's not all negative. It's not worth just dwelling on everything that's bad in life. It's like, how good is this place? That's what I get from it.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Thanks, Kev.
Anybody else gonna do anything or add something?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Just come here to the gym.
Awesome.
Just like that. My goal is keep fitness, more powerful. Just like that. So I think the simple things just come here. Very simple, I think.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple and stupid. So simple and stupid. What I think is that.
Simple is the best.
Simple is best, yeah.
If it's simple, we can actually do it.
Yeah.
That's why that word achievable is in there too. Like, I often overcommit to things and then underdeliver. because I'll get really excited and I'll be like, yes, I'm going to do that every single day. But yeah.
Because if you think, what I think is, complex things maybe you can't fix, do it or achieve it. You just have to think about what you can do, then make them together. You can achieve the complex things.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very simple. Go to gym and do the gym.
Did you guys get these? Did you get that? Yeah.
Duke, did you get any insights?
What I've been trying to do this year is to wake up early, around 4:30 in the morning, which is similar to what Kevin was talking about, which I haven't been able to do in the past. I'm more of a like a night person than a morning person, so it's been a real challenge. I haven't quite stuck to it, but I'm gonna do it again tomorrow, and just read. I find that the thing that holds me back from achieving the things that I want to achieve is just knowledge, and a lot of it is actually self-knowledge. So yeah, there's a whole range of books that I want to read, and I've had those books in mind for many years, but things always get in the way, and you never end up having time to do it. So I'm having a great time. The only way to do it is to wake up early in the morning and do it for a few hours every single morning. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. The last piece of the puzzle is with goal setting is accountability. And the best way to hold ourselves accountable, I think for everyone, is to get support with it. It's like if I'm just holding myself 100% accountable for everything that I'm doing, quite often not everything follows through. But when I say to Simon, okay, out loud, I'm starting to do this. Can you support me with it? It's not saying that he's going to judge me if I don't do it one day, but I'm going to be honest with him and have some kind of buddy system, somebody that you can be honest with, to be like, okay, I didn't do that for a few days, or I didn't do that for a few weeks, but I'm ready to get back on, or that you trust that they'll ask you too, hey, how's it going? So I can ask Duke tomorrow morning, how did the early morning go? And it can feel agitating at first when that person asks you, but they're actually we're supporting each other to follow through on our words, which I think we could all use help with. I don't know about you guys.
100%, yeah.
It's 8:05, so I'm pretty much going to leave it there for now in terms of the actual filling out of the work. You can take this home. You have the structure. You can rework it. You can rewrite it. You can continue to perfect it depending on how OCD you are like me or not. But just keep in mind that it's all about feeling in your body and trying to replicate the feeling of you in your best possible version of yourself as often as possible now. And so when you catch yourself in the feeling of like Lisa in her Betty, okay, I'm here. Who is your other version of being like, no, I'm being a stand for my best life now. I'm gonna come back out of that, pull myself out as fast as I can. And just even, you can physically do it. Stand in your kitchen, move back and forth, find whatever energy it is that resonates with you, whatever feeling it is, if it's even a word, sadness, fear, versus happiness, calmness, peacefulness. It could be names, it could be words, but just get in touch with that. It's a really powerful exercise, yeah. So I hope you guys got some benefit out of this evening and enjoyed yourself. And does anybody have any questions?
No, I was going to say, thank you for your wisdom and the workshop you've run. It's really quite insightful. I've put a lot out of it, just being able to visualise and Yeah, and also be able to, I was going to say also what I got out of tonight was just the awareness again of how quickly I leave my body as I'm everywhere else. Even in meditation I was quite restless and eventually settling in, but it was just that process of not being present, not being there in my body. And then, so it was right, it was very interesting, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And that's just practice. Yeah.
It's good stuff though, like Simon's done a lot of stuff like this with me, like previously, because I've known Simon for 3 years or over now. And where I'm from in Scotland, like everyone's like judgmental on each other. Like I'm from a place where everyone just judges every move you make. If you're not the same as everybody else, then you're getting judged for it. And coming over here was like everyone's different here. Like there's not that much. Like it's very open in Australia compared to where I'm from. So when I first came here, I was like the fear of being judged and all that sort of stuff. But when Simon started doing all this with me, like I just don't even care about anybody. I just do what I want to do now. I don't even care what anybody thinks. If they don't like it, then that's their problem. And it's all this stuff that helped me get to doing that, like doing meditation but I didn't know that about me because I wasn't aware of it. Simon made me aware that I was actually like that, and then I changed it. So it was good to do it. This 12 of it. Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
I also like to say something. I actually realized only a few months ago that long time ago, I forgot to dream. Or maybe I was fearful of dreaming. So just completely like anything about the future or having a beautiful future, I just didn't have that in my head, in my mind. And so I've started dreaming. I just sort of forced myself to dream about the future, and what we did today was very powerful for me. So I just sort of picture myself in 10 years' time, and that's just so like out of my comfort zone, because when I dream about next week's going to be great or next year's going to be great, but I never think beyond like sort of 1 year or so. So that was completely something new for me. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can I ask, if we wanted to learn more about this kind of area, what would you suggest we do?
I could chat to you. I could talk for hours on this. Definitely there would be lots of books written on it as well. Let me get a few titles and I can bring them back and have them at the front desk and then just ask Simon, and I'm sure you have tons of info as well. Yeah.
Well, if in specifically what area?
Not too sure yet, I think I'll just explore it and see what resonates.
Like personal development kind of.
Yeah.
So many great books. I think